Hello, my name is Chandrasekhar and you're watching me on my channel CSK Speaks. Giving. Giving is a very integral part of all our lives. All of us want to give and we want to feel proud and we feel great when we do that. In fact, I want to share with you this incident which happened when I visited a small little temple on top of a hill. I was there trekking and then I discovered this temple. So I thought, okay, let me just walk in and spend some time in that spiritual place. So when I entered the temple, it was quite dark. So they had a small little tube light which was put up there and they had to switch it on even in the day so that we can get a glimpse of the God. And believe you me, even in spite of that tube light, we were not able to take a good look at the God, at the deity. Why? Because the people who had given that tube light, who had donated, had their names written in red ink on the tube light. Now I wonder, is this giving? Because as novel and as noble that idea that you want to contribute, the very motive behind that contribution is something which I don't accept. Because it's not the kind of things you give, it's the heart with which you give. Now let me give you another story. And this is from one of the books which I read long back. And the story goes like this. There was a businessman who was traveling from one village to another for his business and he had to cross across a forest. Now he was worried because in his bag he had some cash and some valuable goods. Now he wanted somebody for company because he had to go through that dense forest and he was always scared of these dacoits or robbers who would take away all his belongings if he goes alone into the forest. As luck would have it, he got a saint, a sadhu who was there and who was also trying to cross that jungle. So he went quickly, caught up with that sadhu and said, "Do you mind if I join you in this journey? Because I believe you are also going through this jungle and I will also want to walk with you so that we have company of each other." So the sadhu said, "No problem, feel free and be my guest, let's go." And as they started walking through the forest, it was well past noon, so they wanted to take a break. So they said, "Let's have lunch sitting under the tree." So they opened up their lunch and they started having, and in fact they went on and exchanged some food. The man had bought some nice delicious parathas, so he was having it and he shared one or two with the sadhu. But the sadhu, being a very simple living kind of a person, he pulled out a couple of fruits and shared that with this businessman. Now suddenly, after this entire lunch rest was over, sadhu decided to clean up his bag. Pulled up his bag, removed all the items, kept it on the floor, and then he started dusting his bag. And when he started to dust his bag, the businessman could not help but notice all the other things which were kept on the floor. And there he saw all these small collectibles, some leftover food items, and a couple of fruits over there. But what caught his attention was a rock which came out of the sadhu's bag. And before anybody can say anything, very quickly, businessman realized that that was not an ordinary rock. It was actually a diamond. But he didn't want to say that to sadhu. So he asked out of curiosity, "What is this? And why are you carrying this in your bag?" And sadhu, as a matter of fact, said, "Oh, well, this is a piece of stone and I don't know why it came into my bag. I don't even realize when it came. You want to have it? Please take it." Businessman was delighted. He said, "Wow, without even me trying to take it, he gave it on his own and without any second thought, he just took it, put it in his pocket and then they both started crossing the jungle." Now fast forward, they crossed the jungle, they went on with their lives, and then the businessman had the diamond, came back quickly to his home, then processed it, and then started selling, and he made millions of rupees in the next 5 years. Then some guilt started biting him in his heart. He said, "No, I have cheated the sadhu without even telling him that this was a diamond. I took it from him, and now I have become rich, I made money, but I think I should go and find him and apologize to him." So he sends his people in search of that sadhu, and luckily they find him in that very jungle. So when they found the sadhu, they come running to the businessman and tell him that we have found him and this is the man. So the businessman comes running to the sadhu, and then they kind of meet each other, and businessman tries to remind sadhu of that encounter 5 years ago. And in that conversation, he starts telling that, "Remember, we shared our lunch, and then we sat down under the tree, we took some rest, and you started cleaning your bag, and there you gave me a piece of rock, and that was no ordinary rock, it was a diamond, and that diamond gave me millions of rupees over the last 5 years." Listening to all of this, Sadhu could not help but smile and say, "My dear man, I don't know what that rock was. All I know was it meant the world to you that day when you asked me that, what is the rock doing in your bag? And I felt you want it more than me, and I just gave it to you. That's all it matters." And then the sadhu did not even blink an eyelid to wish him good luck and walked away. That is the true giving in all sense. It's not about the item, what you share. It's about the motive with which you share the item. It's about the intention and not the content of your gift which matters. In one word or in one line, it can be summed it up as giving for giving's sake. So friends, we are all people living in this world with an objective of helping each other, with an objective of giving something to each other. And in our daily transactions, we end up giving a lot. We give our time to our organizations. We give our love to our family and loved ones. We give a lot of things in the daily transactions. I want you to stop and take a step back and reflect on what is the motive with which I'm giving. And then go about your business of giving to people around you. So I think these two stories will tell us how to give and how not to give. Thank you for listening.